Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. It's a little overdue, long overdue. This one is the reaction or the review, if you will, of the Manchester United 1 Chelsea 1 result that we had yesterday. And as far as results go, not the worst result in the world, 1-1 with Chelsea, but knowing how that result came to be, I think we can all agree that it's a little bit less than impressive. With Manchester United, the usual antics of Manchester United players, and the same old problems that have been plaguing this club for years are back once again. As far as we're concerned about new manager bounces, well, we had the bounce. It was against Leicester, and it wasn't against a very good Leicester team. So it does pose the question: where is the resurgence of the players going to come from? Who is in that team going to step up? Because if they've sacked Ten Hag with the same antics that they're doing under Ruud van Nistelrooy as an interim manager, what's going to happen when Ruben Amorim gets here? I think some of these players will be throwing in the towel. Some of the players will be taking liberties. There are a couple of players that can hold their head up high coming out of that result. Mazraoui, I think De Ligt and Martinez had fairly decent games. And I think as far as the midfield, the defensive midfield goes, meh game. I mean, defensively they were all right, but offensively, in possession, not very good. Not very good at all. I think progressing the ball was troublesome yesterday, and we had to rely on having a sturdy defence and limiting the chances created for Chelsea. But not just in the essence that Chelsea had some of their chances squandered, but Chelsea themselves were very, very off colour, like very, very off colour. So I think it is quite fair to say that Manchester United perhaps quite lucky to get away with a draw, given that the goal that we scored this game came from a penalty through their goalkeeper fouling Højlund after a terrible touch plays into the situation, and Sanchez, I think it was Sanchez was the goalkeeper, didn't need to do what he did, even if it was a soft penalty. Make no mistake, it was not the place for a goalkeeper to be in that situation. And it's just played it all wrong in the moment. But some other goalkeepers probably get that right. Sanchez, not so much. He's a bit of a suspect goalkeeper at times, as some Chelsea fans will perhaps tell you. At least our goalkeeper was making some saves here or there. But unfortunately, one thing he can't do is save a thunder strike. He can't save thunder. He can't save lightning. And Moises Caicedo with a heck of a goal, heck of an attempt from the edge of the box, or from outside the edge of the box, I think it was, from a Casemiro header. It's not necessarily a goal that you really sort of save. It's out of nowhere, and it comes soon after we've scored our penalty as well. So it was definitely a response feat. But beyond that moment in the game, that period of like 10 minutes worth of football, nothing else really happened. And we can thank the front line for this. We can thank the attack of Manchester United Football Club. We can thank that our strikers don't really have chances to work with comparatively to other strikers in other teams around the country, though sometimes even with the lack of chances, they will take the chance, the one chance they'll get, and score a goal off the back of it. We know that the strikers need to have chances created for them, but better off than that, the other players around the striker need to make good on their passages of play also. Forget just the shooting side of things, but the link up play, the movement off the ball, the creating of space. There's multiple aspects to this game that the strikers and wingers and attacking midfielders need to play into, and nobody did anything like at all. And Garnacho, I think, perhaps the most active player out of the two wingers. Again, I don't really remember Rashford doing an awful lot, but Garnacho was trying to do all sorts of things, but was not finding the execution to anything whatsoever. Seeing fail after fail after fail, and I think not just in that sense that, keep trying, but rather his attitude along with it stank. And it felt like a bit of body language of a defeatist mindset, where it's just throwing his arms, oh, I'm frustrated. Well, Garnacho, for a 20-year-old player, people will like to key this term that he's still a kid. That oh well, you're 20 years old. Oh, he's only a kid. Oh, we must make him exempt of any and all criticism. I disagree with that. I disagree with that completely. I feel like if you are good enough, you're old enough. It's as simple as that. I mean, Ferguson said it himself, and it does bring into question: is Garnacho really good enough? Does he have the capabilities to consistently deliver in ways down the left wing or the right wing where Manchester United need him to? And the problems that arise with him in the team, we saw we saw somebody that has not had a humbling yet, like a real humbling. I mean, Casemiro in the team is, once or twice gave him an earful during the game, but still, it's concerning because it's a bit of complacency. Throwing your arms up, complaining about everything, and oh, I'm just so frustrated. It's not something anybody really likes to see. We don't like to see it, and people will say, "Well, Bruno does it. Bruno does it all the time." I think with Bruno, it's more of a passion thing because he will try to cut more of a figure that is like he looks like he does care and that he puts in effort to like distance coverage, and if the ball's in his vicinity, he moves closer to the player, and doing the fundamental basics. The big problem we've got is there are players in the team that don't even do the fundamental basics. So it's like we don't just mark them down, we drastically throw their match ratings in the bin. Rashford, we've accused of not caring. Garnacho, we can say, with how he played that game, maybe didn't care. Højlund, it's difficult to say because he's not really had much in the way of opportunities. Joshua Zirkzee came on today and looked really, really slow. He looked tired, just a very fatigued body language, but he's not really been playing a huge amount of football this season. He has had Rasmus Højlund playing ahead of him occasionally, so he's not like he's completely burnt out and he can't possibly give anything else to the shirt. I just feel like even though it's with Xerxes quite early days, and I do feel like given that he's a player who does play off of confidence, he's not feeling very confident at the moment, and it can do various things. Lack of confidence. It's a courage thing. When you lose confidence, you also lose your courage. And sometimes in football, you've got to have the courage to, put yourself out there and get stuck in and do the things you really don't want to do. And I feel like the game against Chelsea, for the cameo that we had from Xerxes, um, he didn't have any courage to him. So I want to see a very courageous player in Xerxes, somebody that no matter what is constantly giving everything 110% just to do the basics right. Because even if you don't score loads of goals or assist loads of goals, if you're just doing what a good player needs to do in a team or work hard for your team, it's not going to go unnoticed. It won't go unnoticed. Um, I just do feel like with Xerxes at the moment, there's a lot of people who have already written him off and say the guy's a bum. He's not the level. He's crap. Um, and it's understandable. The disappointment will be there, and there won't be patience. Some people have waited too long. They won't give the courtesy of patience to anybody else. They want the results now, and you can't get rid of those people. You can't sell them. Yo, don't say that. You can't say that. People are independent thinkers. They will think what they think, and they'll express their viewpoints. So, for me, I believe that we need to give him a little bit of time, but to help him find that confidence and courage, to find new gears, to find new levels to his game, and really get stuck in. Don't just look at the brass ring, reach out and grasp it, grasp the brass ring. Um, and yeah, I just feel like one of the biggest issues with yesterday was the attack had no synergy, no togetherness, no real mutual understanding for what was going on up the top. I thought the execution in the final third was horrendously bad. I think Garnacho had most of the chances out of all the players up top, and exceedingly bad execution. So for me, it does pose a question like what do you do with the players like in the starting 11? Like, do you drop Garnacho? I think there's a lot of people who would say yes to that. The problem is that you're not really able to replace him, or out on the left at the very least, with somebody who's going to be who's going to be putting in a better shift, a harder working shift. Amad Diallo comes in, but would be set more like a default on the right, and at least with Amad Diallo, he would come in and we know what his game's about. We know that we can trust him to put in effort, to put in a bit of drive, a bit of injection of energy, and a bit of pace, and drive with the ball. As a service of encouragement to everybody else. Um, and I just feel like in the ways in which the attack is, some people have started picking out that Man United, perhaps they just need a whole brand new front line. And you know what? I can't really argue with that because as it stands, in terms of longevity, the player that I would keep around for the longest in the front, out of the front line, is probably Amad Diallo. I want Rashford sold. I want Anthony sold. Garnacho is not living up to expectation. He's starting to disappoint. Xerxes is new here. He's got to find his footing a little bit. Rasmus Højlund just doesn't get any chances, so we don't know just how far the extent of Rasmus Højlund being in the team will go. And Bruno Fernandes is Mr. Hollywood. He just goes trying to play for himself, I think. So at times it definitely feels like sometimes he does just play for himself, and ultimately damaging the chances for the rest of the team to really create, you know, suitable chances that are easier to convert, that challenge a goalkeeper more, given that they're closer to the goal in the danger areas, and it's not a chance wasted. They are valuable chances. We would note them to be clear cut chances, but it feels like everyone's just insistent to shooting from distance and doing their own thing on a football pitch, and that spells crisis, major crisis, because it starts to spell a tagline or paint a picture that maybe there are no managers in the world that could get better results from that team. Maybe there are no managers in the world that can do it. And if that's the case, I gotta be honest, I would even go as far as to consider dropping everybody that's a problem factor in the team, drop them to the bench. Or no, not to the bench, sorry, that's too kind. Drop them to the reserves, kick them out of the official squad, promote those of the youngsters and just say, you guys get the nod. You guys get the nod. And I think that's where we are. That's where I feel like we are with this team. And the big influences of the dressing room will probably kick up a fuss. And I would say, well, if you're not happy about it, then get sold, loser. Get sold. Hold that L. Get sold to a club where you'll never get the opportunities to realize these heights ever again, to never reach these heights, to understand the opportunity you had in front of you, the golden the meal ticket, um, as a direct pathway to success. You could have been a part of it. You could have been a founding father of a new Manchester United era, but you chose to turn your back on professional football. You became a mercenary. You started taking the paychecks. You realised there was no consequences to your failures, and ultimately, at the end of the day, it's come to a point where people here are no longer clueless to your antics, and it's imperative that they stop this bad habits. I think old habits die hard, um, and I think certain players in Manchester United red will need to die hard. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and I think Rashford, mate, biggest one of them all, definitely going to have to take the biggest fall. The biggest fall. I think Bruno. I don't know if Amrim's got it to really get Bruno Fernandes playing better than he already is. Well, I said already. He once came in and played well, but at the moment, you know, aside from Leicester, I don't really remember the last time we really had any impactful performance or impactful game. So, yeah, I just feel like with this team, I just don't have the faith that this collection of players, this selection of players, will will serve any manager. So I think Ruben Amorim, the biggest problem for Ruben Amorim is that he walks into a team that will not be playing for him from day one. They won't play for him. I can see it right now. Those people, they will not try. They will not try because they will think, well, I'm still getting my paychecks, mate, and I'm still not getting dropped. What we need is to have Sir Jim Ratcliffe come out of the shadows and say, well, you can suck on these nuts, and then hand them a P45 with a paid off contract and sack one of your biggest stars. I would love, I would love somebody from this Manchester United playing squad that has strong influence in the dressing room, that has been performing shy, to actually get sacked. Like contract terminated. Marcelo gave stinking attitude out in Brazil. I think it was Fluminense or Flamengo. I can't remember which club it was, but seriously, after his antics, absolutely embarrassing antics, the club just terminated his contract. I mean, I'm sorry, but what difference is it with Man United players? Minus the middle finger and telling your manager to his face, "No, I'm not going to do what you tell me. What you're telling me to do. Go sit down, little man, little boy, little chap. I'm going to go do what I want to do on the pitch." I mean, in less direct terms, that is the fundamentals as to what the working relationship at Manchester United has been. Players don't respect the manager. They take the piss as a group. And ultimately, the influencers say, well, if we all play shit, they can't sack us all. They won't send us all. Well, I think it's probably about time that we really tested that. I would like to see a contract get terminated at Manchester United Football Club. One of the players' contracts get terminated, just to see the looks on their faces when they realise, oh my god, these guys are not playing around. We'll just sit here and smile at them. Guess you guys are going to start playing now. Guess you guys are going to start putting in extra effort now. I guess now when we look at the training sessions, we're going to see you putting in effort we've never seen before. At least that's where my mind is at with this. Unless something really happens as a culture shock to some of those players, the only option, there's no way back. And I've seen a poll today of keep and sell or loan, keep or sell or loan. Marcus Rashford, the option vote selection between keeping and selling was 50-50. And I was like, what? What? What the fuck are we playing at, people? Seriously? Man United polling, by the way. So Man United fans want to sit there and say, yeah, Marcus Rashford can give him another shot. Why? Why are we giving this player another shot? Why are we bothering? Rashford, the project Rashford is dead. It died when he started getting involved with politics. It died when he started putting in stinker after stinker performance. It died along with his reputation and credibility when his PR team has shot down any and all who question Marcus Rashford, who questions him. And the 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 thing that really just grinds my gears is that the amount of people that really support this, that lap this up, that say, I really dislike Rashford as a player, after he's put in a terrible performance, Rashford puts out a statement saying, "I love my club. I bleed and die. I bleed and die for this club." And all of these fans start crying, emotional tears, and just like, "My beloved baby boy Rashford. Oh, I love you so much." Like, seriously, if you love him that much, stick up a picture frame in your shower and start masturbating to him, because clearly you love him so much. Like, if you've got wives or husbands or boyfriends or girlfriends or whoever, they must feel rather neglected. They must feel rather neglected with the love affair that you have for a footballer that plays for your favourite club. Crazy, crazy how it works. That's just how I perceive things. If you disagree, you disagree. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But at the end of the day, these players have insulted you and I for far too long. And beloved Ruud van Nistelrooy, club legend, guess what? He's being thrown under the bus. He's only here for 2 more games, guys. Literally 2 more games. He's managing for 2 more games. And he's already being thrown under the bus. I mean, Christ almighty. What's next? Lose midweek and then lose against Leicester. Honestly, I just think that some of these players are just a massive joke. But leave your thoughts and feelings about what you made of the game yesterday, as well as the cultural issue that Ruben Amorim's going to have to come in and face off against. I've not got a huge amount of confidence for him, to be honest. I do believe he's a fantastic manager, probably one of the best managers on the market possible, and I have no confidence that he can sort out this problem with the players at Man United. I think it's going to have to be a case that Ineos need to absolutely go haymaker in January or the summer, one or the other. But anyways, that's I think that's it for me for tonight. Back again tomorrow. Yeah, I think tomorrow we'll probably be doing a preview to the midweek game against PAOK, and that's at Old Trafford again. That's another thing as well. I've realised that Ruud van Nistelrooy, all of his games that he's managing for Man United are all at home. So yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one, but yeah, back again to doing the preview for PAOK for Thursday, and then following up after that will be the good, the bad, and the ugly. Or for this week, 3 Shades of Shit. The 3 Shades of Shit special. So do be sure to tune back in for that, and yeah, all that good stuff. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and we'll see you again tomorrow as we plan the look ahead for Thursday night's game. Until then, take care and ciao for now.